YouTube, what's the deal here? It's your boy Datruthyadig, and we at it again with a kind of a Madden Ultimate Team video. Well, it is. It's a bow nose. So I was obviously sitting here watching everyone rip these bow nose packs, and it's telling me how glitchy they are. So I wanted to do a big sample size. So what I have for you today is essentially 120k worth of rolls of bow nose. Now, I didn't want to bore you guys because my second rolls were absolutely terrible. And when I say terrible, I'm talking about pure 85. So I didn't want to put y'all through that unadulterated horror. So I kind of edited that out because the video is going to be 25 minutes. So if you want to fast forward the video, I completely understand. But if you could like and subscribe, I do appreciate that. How was everyone's Blitz weekend? Mine was absolutely fantastic. I am going to be doing a recap video on my no money spent, and y'all will see it was crazy. I had some tremendous pulls. We did great in weekend league all around. It was a good weekend for myself. Been playing some of the best Madden of my year, and it's obviously showing on the field. But these bow no rolls, everyone was telling me, oh, you know, I got hit up on Twitter, on TikTok, Dre, you need to try the bow no rolls. You need to try the bow. They're glitchy. I made such and such, you know, amount in a small minimum time. So like, you know what? I got to try it myself. And I didn't want to try a small sample size, because if you don't know, the big thing with the bow nose rolls, as you can see at the start of this video, I started with about 45k worth of training. So you get two bow no players, quick sell them both, that's about 3,800 training, and then you roll, and essentially that gives you about, I believe, 30 rolls, I believe, or 29 or something like that. And the idea is you've got to pull 194 in that span of those rolls. That's essentially what it boils down to, right? So if you pull it within those rolls, then you obviously make profit. If you do not, you don't make profit. Simple and plain. But a lot of people was telling, you know, glitchy. People were tagging me in back-to-back 94 pulls. I seen a dude tag me in triple 94 pulls. So like I said, I was like, you know, I got to try it myself. So as you can see, we started it here. We're not having much luck to start off, right? So at this point, I'm really skeptical. Now, the beauty about this is my no money spin account. So with it being my no money spin account, I actually did try it on my Broncos team account first, and I made 200k. I'm off one roll. So I was like, okay, you know. So being mindful, at the beginning of the video, we started with 45k training and 244,000 coins. As you can see, that's roughly about 650,000 worth in terms of coins. So that's, be mindful about time we get to the end of the video. If you get to the end of the video and we look at our coin stack, right? So look, we're going through it here. As you can see, we're not having any luck. We're pulling nothing but 85s, and like I said, at this point, I'm really starting to question it, if people are photoshopping me, if I'm getting punked by Ashton Kutcher, whatever it may be, right? But I'm like, look, I got to keep going. I got to get this big sample size, because it's one thing to believe others, but it's obviously another thing to have things for yourself, right? So look, if you want to fast forward through this, I completely understand it. I just wanted to give a complete, you know, unedited clip of how these rolls are. Sorry. Because obviously a lot of people do these rolls, and they're like, oh, you know, they'll only show the 94s, or, you know, they'll show a couple 85s. But I want you guys to get a true feeling of how these rolls feel, and the odds on them, and everything of that nature, right? So that's why I essentially brought these out to you. I thought it'd be a good informational video, a bit switch up. Because I'll be honest, man, I was tired from Blitz. Like I said, I played all 25 league leagues. I participated in all the offers. I got all the 40 house rules done. I was grinding. And like I said, when I do my no money spent recap, you'll kind of see how much we grinded. We made some investments. We may or may not have pulled an LTD. Spoiler alert. If you follow on TikTok, obviously most of this stuff has already been posted. Now, last time I did one of these videos, in terms of I've recorded the video and did a breakdown, it was actually well received. I had a lot of people telling me they did like it. So I thought, look, I'll try it again with the bow nose rolls instead of me just sitting here and rolling through it. So look, we're about halfway through, and as you see, we got no 85. I mean, no 94, excuse me. So it's a big L at this point in time, a tremendous big L, without a shadow of a doubt. So like I said, I'm continuously to be skeptical at this point. I know all you need is 194, and essentially you make your coins back, which is good and ideal. That's what at least you want to do. But when I do these rolls, when I open up packs, I'm a big believer. My thing is 70%, right? If I can make 70% of my profit back, or 7% of my coins back, it's a W for me. Obviously, ultimately, we all want to profit. Is that possible? It is, but is it likely? Not. The house always wins. If you play at a casino, or if you gamble, house always wins. So this is essentially what it is, gamble. And I'm a degenerate. I like packs. I like to open up packs. I like to gamble on those. It's better gambling with training than gambling with real money in real life. Less consequences, you know. But like as you can see, we're about 14K here, and we still have hit nothing, absolutely nothing. And man, I had just got home from work, and I was like, look, I've been at work all day because obviously, if you don't know, I'm in Australia. So when stuff is happening in America, usually it's a little bit late for me because by the time I get home, it's in the morning, earlier than one of you guys. And I gotta try. So I was like, okay, so let me see if this method is truly gonna work or not, right? So look, we're at about 11,000, which essentially gives us about what 9 more rows. I think 9 or 10 more rows. 9 because 10 is 13,000 training. So look, we're continuing grinding. We're continuing to go through it. And we're not hitting anything. Let's be completely honest. Y'all can see for yourself. And this is why I did not want to edit this video. I wanted to keep it as unfiltered as possible so you can see. Because I easily could have edited out and only put my 94s and only put a string. But I want you guys to see for yourself. Because I have a lot of people saying, Dre, should I do this? Dre, should I do this? How do you think about this bottlenose rolls? I was like, all right, let me test it out myself. And then I'll post a video and you guys can make the decision, on yourself. Can you profit through this? Absolutely. Is it instantaneous? No. Is it guaranteed? No. It's very luck based. Let's be completely honest. Because it does rely on you pulling 94s, which can be an issue, especially when you're in this real set when it's essentially 85s or 94s. Good thing is you do know when it is a 94 because the animation is significantly different, which bodes well. But yeah, it's completely up to you, and you got to remember, don't listen to a YouTuber and blame them for your risk. The risk is all yours at the end of the day. So that's what you have to remember. If you decide to do this, it is a risk upon yourself, and you have to own that. So look, we're getting down to the latter part of our training. We have not hit anything. I believe we got 2 rows left here, right? So within these 2 rows, we hit 85, and I'm like, okay, I'm not trying this again. And then just as you think when that is happening, we hit the walk-offs of all walk-offs, and boom, 94 Charlie Young. Excellent. So we go take it the binder and have a look. And when we go to the binder, have a look, it goes here, and we're going to look and see what we made back in training, right? So remember, we started off with about 45,000 training when we started to do this whole thing, right? So that's obviously great that we started off with 44,000 training. As you can see, we made about 43,000. To me, that's a W. We break even. So let me tell you what I was doing to make coins throughout this entire process. As I think we will go over to the sets here after we get done with this. So as you can see, I'm in a set for Randall Cunningham. Now I was switching between Randall Cunningham and Vince Wilfork. It's real key to have mutt.gg open when you're doing this to see who's going for more. So look, I was doing Randall Cunningham and Vince Wilfork because they were the most expensive ones. So with them being the most expensive ones, that's the reason why I was going to those without a shadow of a doubt. As you can see, we list Cunningham's power up. Look, I wanted to sell quickly. If I can make 230K between the two, I was okay with it. I was completely okay with it, and I was going to take that W and run with it, right? So without a shadow of a doubt, we did that, and then I think we list Cunningham's 94 up to 200. Now, like I said, I did do 3 sets of basically 40K, so you're not going to see my middle set because it was all 85s. I'm completely telling you, it was completely trash. So it was all 85s. But I'm going to show you my 3rd set, and this is the 3rd set is where things truly take off. As we get into the 3rd set here, you see I'm at 38K. So what I did, I just took 2 94s, and you can see my coins up in the right-hand corner. I'm at 90K. So remember, I started with 45K in training and 240 something in coins. So I'm down right now, down big. I think I do have it after I have all those 85s on my binder, and I have not done anything for my 2nd roll as of yet. So we get into the 3rd row. He's like, okay, if we don't make this row, this is no money spent. So I'm taking a huge risk here, right? So with no money spent, I did, like I said, I did it on my Broncos Steam team, and I wanted to see, is it real deal? So I'll go over to my no money spent and try it out. So like I said, 1st row is nothing, but this 3rd row, boom, we hit a 94. Dan Deardoff, excellent. I'm like, cool, that's what I'm talking about. Get Dan Deardoff, that's what we'll keep it rolling, right? So I think I decided from this point what I'm gonna do. If it's an old 94, then I was just gonna quick sell it and keep rolling, and allow me to do more rolls and to get more. So it actually ended up being a lot more than 140K. I'm not entirely sure if it was this roll or a different roll. But if I didn't quick sell it, then it's obviously a different roll. If I did, it's this roll. Because look, I tried this I would say for hours. Obviously, I didn't want to get all the hours recording. I just did this, 20 minutes. But like I said, we hit a 94 within our first couple of rolls. So we were obviously in the money already through that 38K, right? Because like I said, you really want to hit one in the span of that 30. Because if you hit one, that's 19K. And then I think you have like 29 85s. That obviously takes care of the rest. And obviously you can put, in sets and make your coins back that way, right? So if you hit two, you're in the money. You're in the money big time. Because essentially you can build three from that point. So you're profiting 200K. So like I said, in our first couple of rolls, we hit one. That was cool. We're rolling. We're getting through the rolls. Like I said, I at this point, I was okay with it because we did have that one in our back pocket, right? So we had the one in our back pocket, so we knew, okay, at worst, we're breaking even. Not to mention, you got to remember, we have all the 85s from our other roll, because we did another 40K previous to this, and we got all 85s. So if you get all 85s out of that, that's 1,300 per roll. That's around 3085. So we essentially had another one sitting in our binder. We just hadn't put the 85s into a set as of yet. So with those not being put into a set, we were just going to wait and see what we got out of this. And then, we're either going to build, like I said, we're alternating between Vince Wilfork and Randall Cunningham, which whoever was expensive. I think at one point we did do a Lynn Swan and sneak him in for around 200K, and his power up was like 440K. But it was mostly the new ones. All the old ones, we essentially quick sold. And we only made off the new ones. We didn't make it off the old ones. So that's one thing to remember. Now, I don't know what Randall's price and what you guys' price is going to be as we get another 94 Mike Singletary. Like I said, we just held on anything. So we hit two. We're like, okay, we're good. We're only 20K in and we already hit two. So that we made our training back just off of those two alone. So we can kind of pack it up. The rest of this is essentially private. Whatever we pull from the rest of this is absolutely, without a shot of a doubt, profit. So it's like, okay, we got the two 94s. So we're just going to keep going and just hope for the best. At this point, we're rolling in. Remember, when we started, 45K training, 244 coins. Together, that's about 650K worth of coins. Like I said, I did this for about, you're seeing this video is probably about 17 minutes. I did it for about an hour to make this, and to make this profit. So we're getting to 17K. I don't think we get anything in the next couple rolls. I could be wrong here, but we shall definitely see. But look, is it profitable? Absolutely. It's not guaranteed though. It's a risk, just like with everything. And if you remember my 5 tips and do's and don'ts at the beginning of the year, no money spent, you have to take calculated risk in order to profit. In that video, who I talked about taking a calculated risk on, Derwin James and DJ Moore. Now during the Blitz promo, which I will talk about more in my no money spent, I had about 10 Derwin James power ups sitting in my binder. What happened? He got a Blitz card and his power up shot up to about 40K. I made a smooth 400K off of that off rip, and I probably bought those 10 combined for about 20K, give or take. 'Cause it was a 2 here, 1,000 here, or whatever it may be. So, but this is where the risk factor comes in, right? So we're rolling through here. Like I said, we have about 12K left, which is essentially about 9 rolls. So I'm thinking, okay, we made profit. We'll probably be able to make a couple of 85s or a couple of 94s out of the 85s, and then off we'll go. And I'll call it a day. I always say end out on a high instead of end out on a low. And to me, pulling 2 and 20K is a high. So I was just going to take the 85s and, run with it. Now, another option you can do with these is sell an 85 as we get another 94 Vince Wilfork. And at this point, I'm like, okay, that's big time profit. Just remembering we had lost on our previous row. So it was kind of making up for that row and covering this row and adding on profit. Because like I said, you got to have 194 per row just to get, back to even kill. So first row, we got 194. Second row, we got 0. Third row, we at 394. So that one of those 94s covers the second row. Another one of the 94s covers the third row. And then we're sitting on 194. Not to mention all the 85s we would have as well. So we actually end up making profit in this video, which you will see what the profit is. Now, it's up to you to determine if the profit is worth your time, because this is a time-making method, and it is more about volume than it is substance, if that makes sense. So the more you have in terms of training, the more likely you are to make money or make coins or make training. Because, like I said, in this video, I did about 120,000 worth of training, and at the end, you will see how much I profited. Is it worth my time? Because there's no money spent. Yeah, if you have the ability to spend money, I don't know if this is worth your time. Personally, rather drop $10, $20 and, do whatever you can in that way. But like I said, for no money spent players, it's absolutely worth your time. You just got to have, I guess, the funds to back yourself up. And we got about 2 more packs here. Now, I don't think we pulled anything else in these 2 more packs. I think we had only the 1 walk-off in our first packs. But I will kind of it will show how much training. Now, remember, we started out with 38,000 training to start this row. That is very key. As you get into our last row here, and I believe it is just an 85. But remember, we started this third and final row with 38,000. So that is a big number to remember. So we go into our binder like we did with our first row, and we just highlight everything and see what we made, right? So I'm going through, I'm calculating in my head, 394s, that's 50, 57. But if you look, we made 78,000 training. That's 40,000 training we made in that 1 row, which was a W. Now, as you can see, remember, we started with 45,000 training and 244K, which is 650. We came out at 864 after everything sold, all the power up. So it was a 210K profit. Was it worth it at the end of the day? Like I said, it's completely up to you. As a no money spent player, it was worth it. Now, I did end up rolling again, and I actually ended up losing 100K. Did my 3 rows, so I was like, that's it for me. So, look, I'm hopefully you guys enjoy this, and it gives you a good, insight of these roles, if they're good or not. All right, be on the lookout. No money spent is coming. Broncos theme team is coming. Like I said, I just had a crazy weekend with Blitz, playing weekend league, playing head to head. That was my focus, to get my coins up and show you guys that content. So I appreciate you boys. I truly do. Until next time, I'm signing out. Deuces.